Commander Zexathera stood 8 feet tall, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the harsh lights of his flagship's bridge. 4 arms crossed over his barrel chest as he glared at the holographic display showing the small blue planet that had dared to ignore his ultimatum. For 3 cycles, the humans had failed to respond to his demand for tribute, a transgression that would normally result in planetary bombardment. Supreme Commander, his lieutenant chittered nervously, mandibles clicking. We have received a response from the human homeworld. Zexathera's compound eyes swiveled toward the communications officer. Finally. What resources do they offer? Rare metals? Energy crystals? Perhaps they wish to negotiate the terms of their servitude. The lieutenant's exoskeleton darkened, a sign of confusion among the Krillian species. Sir, they have sent a data package. Text-based. Our translators are having difficulty categorizing the content. Show me. The holographic display shifted, revealing what appeared to be a collection of short-written passages. Zexathera's universal translator struggled for a moment before settling on a rendering that made his 4 eyes narrow in bewilderment. Earth's official response to tribute demand, the complete human joke collection, 47th edition. What, Zexathera growled, his voice like grinding stone, is a joke? The bridge fell silent except for the hum of the ship's engines. No one dared answer. The Krillian Empire had conquered 47 star systems, and never had anyone responded to a tribute demand with whatever this was. Sir, the communications officer ventured, perhaps it's a form of currency? Or coded intelligence data? Zexathera gestured with one of his secondary arms. Display the first entry. The hologram flickered, showing the opening passage. Why don't scientists trust atoms because they make up everything? The bridge erupted in confused chittering. Zexathera stared at the text, his tactical mind attempting to parse this bizarre communication. Was it some form of threat? A declaration of war couched in cryptic terms? Continue, he commanded. A photon checks into a hotel. The bellhop asks, Can I help you with your luggage? The photon replies, No thanks, I'm traveling light. Lieutenant Vexcar approached cautiously. Supreme Commander, I believe these are attempts at humor. Our xenobiological databases indicate that humans engage in a behavior called laughter when exposed to unexpected logical connections. Humor? Zexathera's mandibles clicked in derision. They respond to my demand for tribute with entertainment. For the next hour, the bridge crew found themselves reluctantly reading through the collection. Despite themselves, several officers began to understand the peculiar human logic behind these jokes. The unexpected connections, the wordplay, the subversion of expectations. It was unlike anything in Krillian culture. How do you organize a space party? You plan it. Even Zexathera found his rigid mental patterns shifting slightly. The audacity was staggering. In 40 years of conquest, no species had ever responded to his demands with such irreverence. Sir, the tactical officer reported, we have an incoming transmission from Earth. The display showed a middle-aged human male sitting in what appeared to be a cluttered office. He wore a simple uniform and an expression of mild amusement. Greetings, Commander Zexathera, the human said, somehow pronouncing the alien name correctly. I'm Ambassador Johnson, Earth's diplomatic representative. I trust you received our tribute? Zexathera leaned forward, his massive frame filling the camera's view. You dare mock the Krillian Empire with these frivolities? Ambassador Johnson's expression remained unchanged. Mock? Not at all. You demanded tribute, something valuable from our world. That joke book represents thousands of years of human culture, Commander. Our ability to find humor in the darkest situations, to laugh in the face of overwhelming odds, to maintain hope and joy even when facing extinction. What could be more valuable than that? You think your jokes will save you from annihilation? Actually, Johnson said, leaning back in his chair, I think they already have. Zexthara's eyes narrowed. Explain. Tell me, Commander, when was the last time you laughed? When did any of your crew experience genuine joy? Your empire conquers and destroys. But what does it create? What does it offer the universe besides fear? The bridge had grown unnaturally quiet. Several crew members exchanged glances, a behavior that would have been unthinkable before reading the Human Joke collection. Johnson continued, You see, Commander, humans have a saying, laughter is the best medicine. We've learned that humor doesn't just entertain, it bonds people together, helps them cope with hardship, and provides perspective on what really matters. Your empire has technology and weapons, but when was the last time your people were truly happy? Zexthara felt something unfamiliar stirring in his consciousness. Doubt. His empire had indeed conquered many worlds, but Johnson was right. The Krillians were a joyless species driven by duty and the acquisition of power. You're saying that these jokes are genuinely your most valuable resource? In a way, yes. But here's the thing about humor, Commander. It's only valuable when it's shared. We're not offering you tribute in the traditional sense. We're offering you a gift, the gift of laughter. One of Zexthara's junior officers, young Crixtal, suddenly made a sound the Commander had never heard before. It was rhythmic, almost musical. The youngster was laughing. I apologize, Supreme Commander, Crixtal said quickly. But I just understood the one about the photon traveling light. It's actually quite clever. More crew members began making similar sounds. The bridge, once a place of rigid military discipline, was filling with something unprecedented. Joy. Zexthara looked at the transmission screen where Ambassador Johnson waited patiently. What exactly are you proposing, human? Cultural exchange instead of conquest. Your empire has mastered war, but we've mastered something equally powerful. The ability to find happiness in existence itself. Imagine what we could accomplish together. For the first time in his military career, Commander Zexthara found himself considering an alternative to domination. Perhaps there was indeed something to be gained from this small blue planet, something more valuable than all the tribute in the galaxy. He looked at his crew, many of whom were still quietly chuckling over the joke collection, and made a decision that would change the course of both civilizations. Ambassador Johnson, he said, his voice softer than it had ever been. Perhaps we should discuss the terms of this cultural exchange. And thus began the most unusual alliance in galactic history, not forged through conquest or fear, but through the simple, profound power of laughter.